Hello, families, friends, teachers, and students. I'd like to welcome you to our virtual chorus concert for 7th through 12th grade this spring. As you know, our concert was supposed to be in the end of April, and unfortunately, due to the precautions for the coronavirus, we were unable to perform all of our repertoire for you. So we have been hard at work for the last several weeks getting together a virtual performance for you to view. For our virtual performance, we've put together two virtual choir pieces, one per ensemble. And there are also some reflections that will introduce each piece and share some of the things we've been working on since we've been online. As you'll hear, putting together a virtual choir is much more complicated than the final product looks. It involves each singer needing to be able to record a video of them singing their part perfectly with a practice track so that when they send it in to be edited, it lines up with everybody else, both with the audio and the video. From there, the audio has to be mixed together separately, and then each individual video has to be synchronized so that the full effect works when it all comes together. So we're going to start with 7th and 8th grade introducing and performing their piece Barechu by Salomone Rossi. And following that, we'll hear from high school chorus introducing and performing Ave Verum Corpus by Mozart.
He was a Jewish composer who lived in Mantua, and he played the violin.
There were no records kept of him because he practiced Judaism, and this shows how for many years this group of people were discriminated against and treated very unfairly. And because of this, we don't know the exact date he was born or died.
The only records of his existence are his music and a few letters from the Duke to the police head.
He was serving Leonora Gonzaga and her husband.
He grew up in a time where Jewish people weren't respected, where he was one of them, and he was one of the few Jewish composers.
That he didn't have any records of his life, his birth, his death, but we're singing his song of this person that we don't know and that we will never know about. That just makes me it's fascinating.
Because I feel like he was such an important part of Jewish history and culture and music. I'm surprised he didn't have more records on his life.
During his time, Jewish people were going through very hard times and they weren't accepted in their community, but Salomone Rossi still was able to write the music that he wrote.
He was pardoned from wearing the yellow badge all Jewish people were forced to wear because of how good his music was.
And inspiring it was remembered, even though music coming from a religious minority at the time would have been discarded.
Respect for being a Jewish man and having the ability to make that music.
Learning Barechu in chorus taught me how to sing very complex pieces.
Definitely learning how to breathe better. In the piece, there are not a lot of rests, so learning how to breathe helped me a lot to get through the piece consistently.
Breath support to help us with the melismas that we have.
A melisma is a choral technique, which is where you sing lots of notes in one syllable.
How to pronounce the words.
And we had to learn how to pronounce Hebrew text.
We also did subdividing, which was new when we started singing on counts before we switched over to text.
Was we watched a virtual choir video, we watched the Salomone Rossi documentary, and we obviously looked at some funny memes and videos.
And we watched a documentary about Salomone Rossi and his life. And afterwards, in the next class, we had to do a scavenger hunt for certain questions and things about the documentary and his life.
So we started doing more hands-on activities. Well, we did watch a video, but we did a scavenger hunt in a group.
We've done that in breakout rooms, which is where like a bunch of people online get separated into groups and you can talk to each other and work on projects.
We get to learn a lot more about the history of the piece and the composer and where it's come from.
Blend and diction, making sure everyone's, consonants are coming together on the same beat, making sure everyone is making the same vowel sounds at the same time.
Diction really matters.
Tall vowels.
Homophonic textures, diction, and dynamic.
Before we could actually sing the song on text, we had to learn it using solfege, and we definitely made sure to dentalize the T's in the song.
I got better at sustaining longer and higher notes.
This is a very beautiful piece, so in order for it to work out, we need to know the proper dynamics and how to incorporate them into our piece.
We spent a lot of time learning about Mozart, which was very interesting. We watched a video on his life.
His life was short and intense. He died when he was 35. And he was a prodigy, a child prodigy.
I learned that he started learning very young and that he was a very talented little boy.
He was a very sickly child when he was young, and that he had this incredible ability to be able to compose music at such a young age.
He wrote his first opera at 11, which is interesting to me because at 11 I was like watching TV and playing basketball.
Really the amount of stress that he was put on from such a young age, like at age 5, being paraded around Vienna, shown to royal families and his musical talents, basically supporting his family, him and his sister. And I think that's really interesting to know, like, kind of where he came from and why he was probably so stressed out when he got older.
He had 6 children, but only 2 of them lived past infancy, and the name died with them because both those children died without any marriage or having any children.
Just the amount that he had written in his lifetime was staggering.
The fact that he wrote over 600 choral pieces in his lifetime, which is very impressive. And he didn't live for that long regardless.
I did not know that he had such a mysterious death and that there were so many theories on what had to happen to him and his last piece and how mysterious it all was.
He was working on the song at the same time that he was working on the infamous Requiem in D minor that he never finished before he died. So he was working on this piece 6 months before he actually died.
watched videos of virtual choir to help us understand like what is required of us.
Practicing with practice tracks.
We've been doing individual recordings of the song Ave Verum Corpus, and we've done this so we can paste them all together and create a virtual choir. This is much like Eric Whitaker's virtual choir, and he's a famous choral composer.
I'm not gonna lie, when we first started doing it, I was kind of like hesitant in like how it's gonna sound because I didn't think it was gonna sound as good as it did.
Where we all take videos of ourselves singing our parts for this piece and then send it to Mr. John where he puts it all together and it sounds like an actual chorus piece.
My experience at school online has definitely been pretty good. I miss the human connection and contact that I get in medical classes with my friends, but I'm also kind of grateful for the extra time that I get after class, like the independent work time period.
So when I started, I was very excited. As I got to do it more, I was a little more kind of annoyed because I couldn't obviously see my friends, and it was a lot more work and a little bit more difficult for me. But as I've gotten more into it, I've kind of created a routine.
Being home and not having to get up as early has really helped with my sleep schedule.
Online learning, it's added more stress, but also taken away stress as well. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I miss my friends.
So I think it's just been hard for everyone because being in the house all day looking at a screen is extremely boring and tiring.
I think online school is going better than what I expected it to go.
I thought I would enjoy it more, but I really miss school and being a part of my community.
The emotional connection, or just the connection you have with your friends or your peers or your teachers even, is a lot stronger in person, obviously.
Like I like to leave my house to go to school, but now I kind of feel like I never really escaped school.
Going pretty well for the most part. Of course I miss my friends and I do miss a lot of aspects about school.
It's definitely a lot more relaxed, but I feel like the pressure's more to me because I'm so relaxed. It's like a lot to take in.
School online is better in some classes, but in chorus and PE specifically, it just feels way different.
It's better than the alternative of not having school at all, but I would rather be there.
is how to read notes and music, because before this year I had no idea how to do either of those things, and now I do.
Is how to help others on music theory. While working in groups, I've learned so much more about it, and I've learned to help a lot of other people understand it too.
How to sing and read music. Before this year, I didn't know how to read music, and now since I know, it's going to be way better for chorus next year and the year after.
I've always wanted to do singing in school, but never got any ability to, and I learned a lot about making sound like as a community, and I learned a lot about being able to read music.
More to a piece besides just the notes, and there's like a lot of background information that's interesting about a lot of the songs that we're learning.
There are many different types of music, and that I can sing them, even if they're in different languages.
The importance of culture when it comes to music, because there's just such an important difference in how people interpret music in the two cultures. Like, you could put Russia and America, and the way we interpret and use music is just so different, which is pretty cool to me.
A change such as being in quarantine, like we are now, does not stop a group from creating. I think this is amazing, and I think it's amazing that we have the technology to communicate even in our situation.
Something I learned in chorus this year was to keep a sense of togetherness, because even though we're like in quarantine, we're still managing to pull a concert off.
The fact that we're still able to create music, even though our circumstances are different than what they normally are.
I know this sounds cheesy, but to really have fun, if you're with a group of students that is having fun all the time and is energized, the music is going to sound better overall.
We are an ensemble, which means that despite our differences, we all need to come together and be a team if we want to sound like a team.
But every song this year, like Keep Your Lambs, opening up, I think we're really growing as a choir. It's exciting, definitely.
It's collaboration and balance. You want to make sure that everyone is on the same page, literally, so your section can succeed and do its job, as well as balance, because you need to balance out the work. Two people can't be trying to keep the whole section afloat.
Mostly how to work together with the ensemble, and not just your individual groups like the altos, sopranos, baritones, and basses, but the whole choir in general.
It's a class that really just allows you to speak your mind and have great intellectual conversations with other people and just feel like you have a space and a voice to be able to talk.
We are better as a community when we work together.
That it's very important to be a good peer and a supportive member of the ensemble.
Your ensemble is your family, and we're supposed to work together to create something beautiful, so you can always rely on them and they can always help you when you need it.
That being a part of an ensemble, that everyone matters, so there's there's a sense of unity, and you cannot believe that you're better than anyone else or that anyone else is better than you, because at the end of the day you all bring something to the table to make something so beautiful.
It's not about the type of music, if we're professional, not for a high school course, if we're a middle school course. It's about what brings us together, because the more together we are and the more that bond we have, the better our pieces are gonna sound. And it's just so important that we stick together and we're there for each other in times like these, because that's what makes an ensemble an ensemble.
As those of you who have been to our spring concerts in the past know, each year we have to say goodbye to our graduating seniors, and we honor them by having me say a little bit about them during our spring concert. While I'm really sad that we weren't able to do this in real life for many reasons, I wanted to make sure to acknowledge all three of our graduating seniors this year, because they have brought so much to the choral program at Lamont and the fine arts department in general. I'm going to start with Jaya Bennett, who joined us as a freshman. Jaya has been in women's choir, she's been in Lamont Main Stage, and she's been in high school chorus throughout her high school career. She has brought so much to each of those programs. She is so funny and talented and engaging as a performer. I'm just so grateful to have had Jaya in our program and to had the privilege of seeing her grow over the last 4 years. Amanda Hubbard is graduating this year. Amanda also joined us as a freshman and has been in the Lamont Conservatory program, Lamont Main Stage, women's choir, and high school chorus throughout her time in high school. Amanda has such a fantastic voice. She has such a funny personality, and I have so enjoyed being able to work with Amanda over the last 4 years, from our field trip to Robbinsville, New Jersey freshman year up until our time in high school chorus this year. I'm so grateful to Amanda for everything she's brought. And finally, Derek Lee, who joined us as a sophomore. Derek has been in high school chorus and Le Mans main stage throughout his time at Le Mans. And it has been truly incredible to see his growth and progress from arriving here as an international student, learning English, to memorizing entire roles of full Broadway shows in a language that is secondary to him, and to his commitment coming back to high school chorus after needing to take some time off because of scheduling conflicts. It really just speaks so much to Derek's personality and his commitment in all of the things he's been involved with. Again, seniors, we are so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Normally we would have roses to give to you as sort of parting gifts. I'm sorry, I can't give you a rose in person, but here's our virtual rose. Thank you so much. We're going to close out our virtual concert now with some words of hope and encouragement for everybody. Thank you.
Even though this is a big change for everyone around the world, we are all in this together, and we can all get through this together.
Alone, we can only do so little, but together we can do so much more, and that really speaks for what's happening right now.
There's actually a quote from Andrew Carnegie. Teamwork is the ability to work together towards a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments toward organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results.
Make the most of this time that you have. Call the people you love.
Stay strong.
Take care of yourself mentally and physically, and meditation really helps. And know that what you're feeling is valid and that your emotions are valid.
I would recommend listening to music because it helps when you're feeling, down and sad and feel like this is never going to end, which it will end.
Try and stay positive and productive during these tough times because pain and suffering is only temporary.
So shout out to the people who are tired, stressed, and still have the strength to get up every day and keep going. That inspires me to do good and all that.
Stay home, stay safe, and keep pushing through.
I haven't been to summer in 2 months. That says something. So please stay home so that we can get through this and we can have a summer. Thank you.
Wash your hands.
Be hopeful and remember that quarantine won't last forever.
Just think about how good and nice it'll feel when you finally get to hug and see your friends outside of a screen.
Stay positive and show gratitude and give thanks and be grateful for everything you have right now.
I hope everyone's safe and healthy and happy